Good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to present and elaborate the next topic, which is about semantics.
This is Arvin Soliva.
And Roxanne Granada.
We hope that you'll get to know every detail of our discussion.
The main focus of this discussion is the word meaning and sentence meaning, entailment, implicature, and others.
Now let's define semantics. Semantics, the study of word meaning and sentence meaning, abstracted away from context of use, is a descriptive subject. It is an attempt to describe and understand the nature of the knowledge about meaning in their language that people have from knowing the language. Semantic is the study of meaning of words, phrases, and sentences. Now, in semantic analysis, there is always an attempt to focus on what the words conventionally mean, rather than on what an individual speaker might want them to mean on a particular occasion. Now, this approach is concerned with objective or general meaning and avoids trying to account for subjective or local meaning. Doing semantics is attempting to spell out what it is we all know when we behave as we share knowledge of the meaning of words, phrases, or a sentence in a language.
Semantics, according to David Crystal, 1980, is a major branch of linguistics devoted to study of meaning in language. He further states that this term is also used in philosophy and logic, but not with the same range of meaning or emphasis as in linguistics.
Now let us try to look at the group of words or look at these group of words that we have here on the screen and read them and think of other words that come to mind in relation to the term provided. Now, let us try to look at it and do you think that the terms listed and associated to other group of words have significance?
All the previously listed terms and the notions with which they are associated have significance. While semantics is the study of meaning in language, there is more interest in certain aspects of meaning than in others. We have already ruled out special meanings that one individual might attach to words. We can go further and make a broad distinction between conceptual meaning and associative meaning. So what is conceptual meaning? Conceptual meaning covers those basic, essential components of meaning that are conveyed by the literal use of a word. It is the type of meaning that dictionaries are designed to describe. Some of the basic components of a word, like needle, in English might include thin, sharp, steel instrument. These components would be part of the conceptual meaning of needle. However, different people might have also different associations or connotations attached to a word like needle. They might also associate it with pain, or illness, or blood, or drugs, or thread, or knitting, or even hard to find.
Now this time let us proceed to the associative meaning. Now associative meaning deals with the concepts that we add to the original word. And when we talk about associative meaning, we are taking into account various factors that may describe a word, not only the base form and the definition of a word. Now, we're also considering other aspects like cultural context, emotional state, social circumstances, and personal association. Now, there are different types of meaning in semantic studies. As mentioned a while ago, associative meaning includes five types of meanings. Number one is connotative meaning. Second is social meaning. Third is affective meaning. Fourth is reflected meaning. And the last one is collocative meaning.
Connotative meaning. This is the stylistic meaning or connotation of a word as communicated by virtue of what language refers to. It may refer to physical and sociological properties. For example, the word woman. It connotes adult, female, and human.
Now, this time, let us proceed to another type of associative meaning, which is the social meaning. Now, social meaning, this is understood through the recognition of different dimensions and levels of styles within the same language. Now, they may sound similar, but they have different meaning. Now, to reveal social meaning, Leach includes the aspects of pronunciation, intonation, sentence structure, and others. Now, for example, the words died, pass away, disease, and kick the bucket may sound similar, but they have different meaning.
Affective meaning. It communicates the feelings and attitudes of the speaker or writer. For example, politely asking someone to be quiet as opposed to telling someone to shut up.
Now let us move on to another type of associative meaning, which is the reflected meaning. Now in reflected meaning, it is what gets communicated through associated with another sense of the same expression. So for examples are cock, erection, and contact. Now these words with multiple meanings may get misunderstood as taboo words, which means banned or on grounds of morality or taste.
Collocative meaning. The synonymy, collocation, or associations a word requires an account of the meanings of words that tend to occur in the environment of another word. The word pretty often goes with girl, boy, garden, village, and flower, while handsome often goes with car, man, and boy.
Now let us proceed to the examples of words and their conceptual and associative meanings. Now, a single word can mean a lot of things. Am I right? Now, it may mean a lot. Or let's take the denotation of the word cogger. Now, a cogger, in conceptual language use, it refers to a wild cat. So a cogger is a wild cat. Now, in other colloquial uses, cogger takes new semantic roles. Now, it may prefer or it may refer to an older and mature woman who prefers a younger partner. Now, conceptual language use is way different in associative meaning, meaning they have different connotations. Now, let us take an example. So we have here example of a clip and dust. Now, certain words and phrases may have same referent, okay, but also hold contrastive meaning or contrastive meanings. For example, clip, okay? Now, clip is an interesting word because it can denote to cling or to split apart. Now, the verb dust is another example. You may say, dust the cake with powdered sugar. Now, as in to add sugar on the cake, right? Or you may say it like dust the house, as in to remove the dust in the house. Now, you can see that the two meanings of cut and dust are antonyms. Your grammatical competence will reflect in your language use various social circumstances will also change the meanings of the words that you use and choose to say. All right, so this time we will proceed to the next topic, which is the semantic feature analysis. Now, what is meant by semantic feature analysis, or SFA? Now, SFA is a therapy technique that focuses on the meaning-based properties of nouns. Now, people with aphasia describe each feature of a word in a systematic way by answering a set of questions. Now, SFA has been shown to generalize or improve word finding of words that haven't been practiced. Now, it is based on the spreading activation theory that suggests activating the neural network surrounding a word will strengthen a target word. Now, SFA, or semantic feature analysis, works best for people with mild or moderate aphasia as well as those with fluent aphasia. Now, it requires strong cognitive skills. Now, how we will do the semantic feature analysis, how to do the semantic feature analysis. Now, step one is to place a picture of an object in the center of a graphic organizer, like the one that I'm going to show you later on. Now, step two is that the people with aphasia tries to name the item of the picture regardless of the response move to the next step. All right, so let's move on to the third step. Now, on the third step, we have here, ask each of the questions around the picture, writing in the correct answers as they are discussed. So we do have different features here. We have the category, function, the action, location, association, and properties. Now, each of these categories has also corresponding questions on it. Now, we have on the category, we have here, what type of thing is it? And on function, what is it used for? For action, what does it do? For location, where do you find it? For association, what does it go with? Or what does it make you think of? Now, for properties, we have here, what does it look like? Perhaps the color, the size, the shape, and also what does it feel, taste, sound, or like? Now, if the person with aphasia names the item at any point, well, that's great. But keep going with the rest of the questions. Now, for step four, we have here, the person with aphasia tries to name the picture again. If they can't say on their own, they may have them repeat after you. All right, so this time, let's move on to the semantic feature analysis, on how we will do the semantic feature analysis. Now, we made mention a while ago that a semantic feature analysis is good for person with aphasia, right? Now, this time, when performing semantic feature analysis, we must use a diagram, okay, to help us understand something. So just like what we have on the screen, we have here a diagram wherein there is a target picture on the middle of it. So as you can see on the graphic organizer, we have the target picture in the middle, okay? The target picture will be the item, okay? The item or the thing that will describe in the picture. Now, the first thing that we will do is to place the picture of an object in the center, okay, in the center of the graphic organizer. So as you can see, the target picture is there in the middle. Now we will place there the target picture or the object of the picture. Now, after that, the person with the fascia tries to name the item in the picture. Regardless of the response, the person with the fascia will move to the next set of questions. So we have here different set of questions. We have from the group, use, action, we have properties, location, and association. Now, here's the thing. Once the picture is already in the middle, then the person with aphasia will answer it. It is a. What is it in a thing? You use it for. What does it do? Describe the picture. You find it where? Location or where you can find it. It reminds me of a. So that means you are asking the person with aphasia of what is meant by the picture, what's the function of the picture, what's the use of the picture, how it is used. Again, this therapy technique focuses on the meaning-based properties of nouns. Now, it is only good for a person with aphasia. Aphasia is a person who has a loss of impairment of the power to use or comprehend words. So again, semantic feature analysis is only good for a person with aphasia.
Semantic role. The semantic roles are properties that the noun phrase possesses based on its meaning within the sentence. It is the actual role a participant plays in some real or imagined situation apart from the linguistic encoding of those situations. There are 7 kinds of semantic role. We have agent, theme, instrument, experiencer, location, source, and goal.
Alright, so this time we will proceed to the kinds of semantic role. Now, the first one is the agent. Now, the agent is the person who executes the action in the sentence. It is called an agent. Like, for example, that what we have here, the boy kicked a ball. Now, from that sentence, the agent in that sentence is the boy because he's the person that executes the action in the sentence.
Theme. The theme is the object or person that is directly affected or described by the action. For example, the boy kicked a ball. In this sentence, the ball is the theme or the object that is directly affected or described by the action.
Alright, so this time we will proceed to the third kind of semantic role. Now, the third one is the instrument. Now, what is meant by the instrument as semantic role? Now, instrument is a tool that helps the agent, okay, perform the action. Now, we have here an example. The boy cut his hair with the scissors. Now, from that given sentence, the boy cut his hair with the scissors, we can notice that there is a tool that helps the agent perform the action. That is the semantic role of an instrument.
Experiencer. When the action is related to a feeling, a state, or perception, the agent takes the name of experiencer. For example, Marvin felt sad about cutting his hair. From this sentence given, the noun Marvin will no longer be the agent in the sentence. Rather, he will be considered an experiencer since the action in the sentence is related to a feeling.
Okay, so let's move on to the next kinds of semantic role. So we have here number 5, the location, source, and goal. Now, what is meant by these? So we have the first one, which is goal. Now, the goal is the direction towards which the action of the verb moves. Meanwhile, the source is the direction from which the action originates. Then the location, the third one, which is the location is where the action of the verb takes place. Alright, so this time we will proceed to the different set of examples of location, source, and goal. So as you can see here, we have here the 3 set of sentences. Now we will identify which one here is a semantic role of location, which one here is semantic role of source, and which one here is a semantic role of goal. Now let's read first the examples. Now number 1, Harriet is driving to the library this evening. Number 2, we have here Harriet is driving from the library at noon. And for number 3, we have here Harriet studies at the library all weekend. Now, let us identify which one here is a location, source, and goal. Now, it is always a challenge for us teachers or even students to distinguish between source, goal, and location. The key is generally the preposition that precedes the NPs or the noun phrase. Now, let us try to go back to sentence number 1. So from sentence number 1, we have here, Harriet is driving to the library this evening. Now, the goal is the entity, okay, towards which the action of the verb moves, wherein Harriet is driving to the location, which is the library. Okay, so driving to the library, that means that the first sentence here is considered as a semantic role of location. Now, for number 2, we have here, Harriet is driving from the library at noon. Now, on sentence number 2, the source is the entity from which the action of the verb originates, okay? In which sentence does it originate in the library, okay? It originated from the library. So this time, sentence number 2 is considered as a semantic role, which is a source. Okay, now for number 3, we have here on sentence number 3, Harriet studies at the library all weekend. Now, on this sentence, the goal is the entity where the action of the verb is taking place. From sentence number 3, we can see that Harriet studied at the library all weekend. So, meaning to say, number 3 here is considered as the goal. Okay, now, okay, so this time, let's have a short activity. So let us identify which one here is the agent, theme, experiencer, instrument, source, goal, location in the following sentences. So the first one we have here, the old lady that came to the house yesterday feels really happy today because she won the lottery. Number 2, my mother hit the rubber with a bat. Number 3, Mary has decided to travel to Merida. Now for number 4, these documents appear to be from the CEO. Number 5, my teacher has given some really good lessons with the old books. So get a pen and paper and let us try to answer which one here again is an agent, theme, experiencer, instrument, source, goal, and location.
This time, we will now proceed to the different kinds of lexical relations.
Alright, so this time we will move on to the next type of lexical relations, which is synonym. One of the lexical relations that we have here on the screen is the synonyms. Now, I know that you are already familiar what is meant by synonym, the definition of it, but let's just have a short recap of what really synonym is. Now, synonym, two or more words with closely related meanings are called synonyms, okay? They are often, though not always, be substituted for each other in sentences. Again, they can often, though not always, be substituted for each other in sentences. Now we have here sample words or group of words. We have almost, nearly, big, large, broad, wide, buy, purchase, taxi, cab, car, automobile, couch, sofa, freedom, and liberty. Again, they can often, though not always, be substituted for each other in sentences. Now, it is important to consider that the idea of sameness of meaning used in discussing synonym is not necessarily total sameness.
Antonymy. Two forms with opposite meanings are called antonyms. For example, alive. The antonyms of alive is dead. Big. The antonyms of the word big is small. Fast. We have slow. Happy. sad. There are also two types of antonyms. We have gradable and non-gradable. Gradable antonyms refer to contrary adjectives. Example, big, small. While non-gradable antonyms refer to those words that don't allow comparison. However, they have a complementary word. Example, alive, dead.
Alright, so this time let us proceed to another type of lexical relation, which is the hyponyms. Now, hyponyms, when the meaning of one form is included in the meaning of another, the relationship is described as hyponyms. Now, let us try to observe the group of words that we have here on our screen. So we have here fruits, we also have apple, orange, guava, and banana. So what have you observed? Right. So we have group of words which are apple, orange, guava, and banana are examples of fruits. Now, the example we have here is an hyponym of fruits. Okay, the apple, orange, guava, and banana are the hyponyms of fruits. Why so? It's because the fruits mentioned here are the specific words. Okay, these are the specific words of a general word, which is the example of fruits. All right, so let us proceed to the next slide, which what we have here on the screen. So as you can see, we have here a diagram, a living thing, and a creature and a plant. Wherein in creature, under that we have animal and insect. Now under animal, we have dog, horse, snake, puddle, and apes. Now in insect, we have ant and cockroach. Meanwhile, on plant, we also have here, under that, we have vegetable, flower, and tree. Now, under vegetable, we have carrot, under flower, we have rose, and under tree, we have banyan and pine. Now, on this diagram, it shows that we can also say that two or more words that share the same superordinate terms are co-homonyms. So, just like what we have here, animal and insects are co-homonyms because they are creature, right? Now, meanwhile, vegetable, flower, and tree are considered as plants, so they are also co-homonyms. Creature and plant are co-homonym, it's because they are living things. Okay, similar as to the dog, horse, snake, puddle, apes, ant, and cockroach, wherein they share same words or two or more words that share same superordinate terms are co-homonyms. Animal and insects are co-homonyms, and vegetable, flower, and trees are co-homonyms because they are under plant, and animal and insects are creature and plant is also co-homonyms because they are both living things. Right, so this time let's proceed to another type of lexical relations, which is the homophones. Now, homophones, when two or more different written forms have the same pronunciation, they are described as homophones. So like bear, bear, meat, meat, flower, flower, pale, pale, right, right, two, two, two. So, two. So these are examples of homophones.
Homonyms. We use the term homonyms when one form, either written or spoken, has two or more unrelated meanings. For instance, the word bank. It could mean as of a river or financial institution. Another instance, bat. It could be flying creature or used in sports. The word mole. It could be on skin or a small animal. Another example, the word pupil. It could be at school or in the eye. Then we also have the word race. It could mean contest of speed or ethnic group.
Alright, so this time let us proceed to another type of lexical relation, which is the polysemy. Now, polysemy can be defined as one form written or spoken, having multiple meanings that are all related by extension. So like for example, what we have here on the screen, we have head. Now head could be another meaning, which is head as a part of the body, or perhaps it could be a mind or a mental ability of a person in charge, right? Another example is we have foot. Now, it might be a foot of a person, a foot of a mountain, right? Now, another is date. Now, in date, it might be a point in time, or it might be a range in meeting. So, when we say polysemy, it can be defined as one form, written or spoken, having multiple meanings that are all related by extension. Alright, so this time, let us proceed to another type of lexical relation, which is the metonymy. Now, metonymy is a relationship between two words that is based on daily life experience. Now, that close connection can be based on a container, okay, content relation. So say for example, we have a bottle which is somehow connected to a Coke, or a can could be connected to a juice, right? Or another type is a whole part relation. So say for example, a car which is connected to a wheels. Now a house is connected to a roof, right? Now another is or a representative. So say for example, a symbol relationship, like a king is connected to a crown and the president is connected to the White House. Now, metonymy is use of a link or term to stand in for an object or concept. Alright, so this time let's proceed to another type of lexical relations, which is the metaphor. Now, a metaphor is a phrase that does not carry the literal meanings of the words but is used to mean something different. Like, for example, my car is a lemon. This works as a metaphor because the term lemon has a secondary meaning, a defective vehicle. Again, when we say metaphor, it carries the literal meaning of the words but is used to mean something different. Alright, so we will proceed to the continuation of metaphor. Now, we have here another set of meanings. Now, metaphor, understanding the concept in terms of another, extension beyond the primary sense. Now, when we say metaphor, it's a figure of speech in which a word or phrase literally denoting one kind of object or idea is used in place of another to suggest a likeness or analogy. So, we have here another set of examples. Eye of the needle, see the point, buying time, budget time, spend time, borrowed time, peak of health, fell into depression. So again, these are considered as metaphor. Alright, so let's move on to a collocation. Now, collocation is frequently occurring together is known as collocation. Now, words tend to occur with other words, okay? Some collocations are joined pair of words such as salt and pepper, and or perhaps husband and wife. Now, a collocation is made up of two or more words that are commonly used together in English. So we have hammer, nail, a needle, thread, butter, bread, salt, pepper. Sentences can also be semantically related to one another in a few different ways. Now, we have the first one is paraphrase or paraphrasing. Now, one relationship the two sentences can have with each other is being paraphrases of each other. This is a good example of how we all understand semantics already on some level, because people can easily tell when a sentence is a paraphrase or not because when two sentences are paraphrases of each other, even though the form is different, you will understand the same meaning from them. Now, paraphrases have the same truth conditions, meaning to say, if one is true, okay, and the other must be also true. Okay, so we have another set of examples. Now we have here, the boys like girls, and the girls are liked by the boys. So another, we have example, John gave the book to Chris, and John gave Chris the book. So meaning to say, they are the same meaning, however, it's just being paraphrased, or meaning to say the group of words are just, are few of group of words are being changed. All right, so another is sentences can also be semantically related to one another in a few different ways. Aside from paraphrasing, we also have entailment. Now, in entailment is a little more tricky than paraphrase in that the two sentences don't mean exactly the same thing. Instead, when one sentence entails another, for the second sentence to be true, the first one must be true. There are two different types of entailment. So later on, we will know what are those types of entailment. All right, so let us proceed to the two types of entailment. The first one is the mutual entailment. Second is asymmetrical entailment. Now, what's the difference between the two? So let's have first the mutual entailment. Now, when we say mutual entailment, it means that when each sentence entails the other, each sentence must be true for the other to be true. So let us look at the example. Now, John is married to Rachel, and Rachel is John's wife. Wherein the first part of the sentence, wherein John is married to Rachel, it's correlated to the last part of the sentence, wherein Rachel is John's wife. Wherein a sentence must be true for the others to be true. So another example that we have here is Chris is a man and Chris is a human, which is also true, right? Now that is meant by a mutual entailment. Again, each sentence must be true for the others to be true. Alright, now let's move on to the next type of entailment, which is the asymmetrical entailment. Now, when we say asymmetrical entailment, it means that with asymmetrical entailment, only one of the sentences must be true for the other to be true. But that sentence may be true without the other sentence necessarily having to be true. So let us read the example. Now, Rachel is John's wife entails John is married, but John is married does not entail Rachel being his wife. Okay, did you get it? Now, Rachel has two brothers entails Rachel is not an only child, but Rachel not being the only child does not entail Rachel having two brothers. So it means that in asymmetrical entailment, only one of the one of the sentences must be true for the other to be true. But that sentence may be true without the other sentence necessarily having to be true. Alright, so let us now proceed to another way or different ways of sentences can also be symmetrically related. Now, another is the contradiction. Now, contradiction, sentences can be symmetrically related when they contradict each other. Now, sentences contradict each other when for one to be true and the other must not be. Okay, so let's have the example. Now, Rachel is an only child, and Rachel's brother is called Phil. Okay, Alex is alive, and Alex died last week. Now, sentences contradict each other when one sentence is true and the other cannot be true.
Sentences can also be semantically related to one another in a few different ways. Ambiguity. One of the aspects of how meaning works in language, which is studied most in semantics, is ambiguity. A sentence is ambiguous when it has two or more possible meanings. But how does ambiguity arise in language? A sentence can be ambiguous for either or both of the following reasons. Lexical ambiguity. A sentence is lexically ambiguous when it can have two or more possible meanings due to polysemous, or words that have two or more related meanings, or homophonous, a single word which has two or more different meanings of words. Example of lexically ambiguous sentence is, prostitutes appeal to the Pope. This sentence is ambiguous because the word appeal is polysemous and can mean ask for help or attractive to. Structural ambiguity. A sentence is structurally ambiguous if it can have two or more possible meanings due to the words it contains being able to be combined in different ways which create different meanings. For example, enraged cow injures farmer with axe. In this sentence, the ambiguity arises from the fact that the with axe can either refer to the farmer or to the act of injuring being carried out by the cow with axe.
Thank you for listening. Have a great day.